Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of psychology and uncover the secrets of the human mind. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to delve into a fundamental concept in psychology that affects us all: the fight, flight, freeze response. You might have experienced it before: your heart racing, your senses on high alert, and your body ready to react to a perceived threat. This is the fight, flight, freeze response in action, a primal mechanism that has been with us since the dawn of humanity. But what exactly is this response, and how does it impact our daily lives? To understand the fight, flight, freeze response, let's start with its definition. It's a physiological reaction that occurs when we perceive a threat, whether it's physical, emotional, or psychological. This threat triggers the release of stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare our body to either fight, flee, or freeze in response to the danger. The fight response prepares us to confront the threat head-on. The flight response readies us to escape, and the freeze response immobilizes us, often as a last resort. The concept of fight, flight, freeze response has its roots in the work of Walter Bradford Cannon, an American physiologist who first described it in the 1920s. Since then, our understanding of this response has evolved significantly, thanks to the contributions of psychologists like Hans Selye, who developed the theory of general adaptation syndrome, and Peter Levine, who pioneered the concept of somatic experiencing. From a theoretical perspective, the fight, flight, freeze response is closely linked to the concept of stress and its impact on our body and mind. According to the transactional model of stress, developed by Richard Lazarus and Susan Folkman, stress occurs when we perceive a threat that exceeds our coping resources. This perception triggers the fight, flight, freeze response, which can have both short-term and long-term consequences for our physical and mental health. Research has shown that chronic activation of the fight, flight, freeze response can lead to anxiety disorders, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. For example, a study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that individuals with PTSD exhibited increased activity in the amygdala, a region of the brain responsible for processing emotions and triggering the fight, flight, freeze response. So, how can understanding the fight, flight, freeze response help us in our everyday lives? By recognizing the signs of this response, we can take steps to manage our stress and anxiety. For instance, deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and mindfulness meditation can all help calm the nervous system and reduce the intensity of the fight, flight, freeze response. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you're driving home from work and someone cuts you off in traffic. Your heart starts racing, your muscles tense up, and you feel a surge of anger. This is a classic example of the fight, flight, freeze response in action. However, by recognizing this response and taking a few deep breaths, you can calm yourself down and respond to the situation more thoughtfully. Another example is public speaking. Many people experience significant anxiety when speaking in front of an audience, which can trigger the fight, flight, freeze response. By understanding this response and using techniques like positive self-talk, visualization, and relaxation, individuals can reduce their anxiety and deliver a more confident presentation. In addition to these examples, research has also shown that the fight, flight, freeze response can be triggered by social media use, financial stress, and even seemingly innocuous events like receiving an unexpected phone call. By recognizing how our body responds to these stimuli, we can take steps to mitigate their impact and promote greater balance and well-being in our lives. In conclusion, the fight, flight, freeze response is a fundamental concept in psychology that affects us all. By understanding this response and its underlying mechanisms, we can develop strategies to manage stress and anxiety, improve our relationships, and enhance our overall quality of life. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking reflection. What if, instead of fighting, fleeing, or freezing, we could learn to respond to challenges with greater curiosity, compassion, and creativity. What might this look like in your own life? And how might it impact your relationships, work, and overall sense of fulfillment? That's all for today's Psych with Sigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.